All right, thank you for joining. So today we'll go over Bitcoin USDT perpetual contract on the Bybit chart. And today I'm going to keep things very simple like always and point out a few things, right? So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. Bitcoin has just been range bound over the past pretty much a month, right? Since this massive drop October 10th, it's just been trading sideways, range topping about 116,000 and bottoming out at about 103. You can possibly go with this wick at 102, but respectfully around 103 because that's where actual buyers stepped in after this pretty much a scam liquidation wick to the downside. So in order to analyze this, we're going to keep things very simple. We mark out the range high, marked out the range lows. We had a double pivot right here, right, causing a trend line to happen. And as you can see here, Bitcoin's last pivot ended up testing that trend line one more time, the third time, creating a nice impulse to the upside. Now, I went ahead and drew the NAV Fibonacci right here from the low to the high. This is the .75 and 786, pretty much my own golden pocket, coming in right here, lining up exactly with this trend line, right? If I went with just a traditional golden pocket, which everyone else uses, you can see price did react here. You had a nice bounce, but after a lot of back testing, I realized the .75, 786 golden pocket, right? Otherwise known as the NAV is what I'm calling it. Also acts as a very nice Fibonacci level. As you can see, price came dead center to the middle of that. And yeah, we bounced off with confluence because we had the sweep of this low, right? So if I go ahead and hide this, we had a sweep of this low, liquidity grab. We had the trend line to the upside, and we had this Fibonacci 786.75 level tested. So triple confluence, bullish confluence, right? Or support confluence, leading to this bounce to the upside, which actually broke through this trend line, right? So that's pretty bullish locally. But as we can see, since we are currently trading a range, we took the liquidity of the highs. It is typically expected to kind of get like a full rotation to the downside, possibly taking the liquidity of this $103,000 level. But since there was major confluence here, that's why we had to push to the upside. What I'm expecting to happen is two things. We can either continue to slowly sell off here, if I go to the 1 hour, slowly sell off into this zone, right, where we have local 1 hour demand, and we have the golden pocket lining up right above that demand level too as well, which can possibly lead to a bounce, right, tapping this 1 hour or 4 hour fair value gap to the upside before either retracing all the way back down, or maybe we just get like some consolidation, price moves above and targets the range high one more time, right? So if you're having a bullish bias, this may be the likely thing to happen, right? But it is good to see where your next short trades and long trades should possibly be. So bullish bias because the trend line broke out. You might want to wait for a little bit more of a retracement, see buyers step in one more time at this initial buy zone, and then enter the trade targeting the upside liquidity, or you wait for a even deeper pullback for these lows to be taken. Possibly the next trade is more likely going to be down here if you do get some buyers stepping in, right? Just a nice clean sweep of these lows and aiming back for the upside, right? And then yeah, next short trade idea would be once again at the range highs at around 116,000. If that fails, you can see massive selling volume start to come in at around the dot, around 120,000, right around that NAV zone too as well, .75, .786 Fibonacci level. So I would also expect for the next best short trade with the biggest returns is if price does push up to this level, for us to look for some market structure breaks, some back testing to happen, then aiming back down to the range lows, right? So I'm not really interested in a short trade until we get up to this level, looking at local market structure on a lower time frame. And then yes, the best short trade would be another sweep of the previous range all-time high. But I feel like if price gets up here one more time, we're probably going to end up shooting off to who knows how high, because, you know, liquidity was swept once, twice. It can't happen a third time, but I think it's probably going to go a little bit higher before coming back down one more time. So for Bitcoin, it's looking very strong. I'm expecting price to come back down to around $108,000, possibly moving up from here because we had some nice buyers step in. With stops right below this low, stops below $106,200. If we lose that level, that's all right. Next area interested in a long is $103,000, depending on the reaction. But if we do get a push to the upside here, areas looking to short is possibly this $112,000, depending how price reacts. We also have another area to short, 116,000, 120,000, and 126,000, all depending how price is reacting, using the 1 to 2% risk per trade risk management, right? So that's very straightforward. That's all we're looking for, keeping things very straightforward with Bitcoin. Right now, not in a trade zone, unless you're super aggressive, waiting for a slight pullback into those levels, $108,000, taking it a little bit higher, and then we just wait from there, right? Stop below 106. So that's pretty much it, right? If I was to pull out the long tool, right? So stop would be below here, about a 1.5% risk, targeting here, which is about a 2 to 1 risk reward, or you can hold it a little bit longer. Now it's about 4.5 to 1. Hold it a little bit higher to bigger targets, which would be here. 11% gain, right? So clear ideas of what we're looking for here. I think that'll be the next most interesting trade option based on just the price action we're receiving right now. All right. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. And remember to follow me on X as well, where I post updates. You can see here, like, follow. And yeah, we'll just see how things play out here over the next few days. Thank you for joining. Take care.